Beneath the endless sprawl of alien night skies, a young alien woman kneels among the ruins of her shattered homeworld. Her skin glows faintly blue, reflecting the cold light of a dying star that has fallen to the surface, cracked and bleeding cosmic energy into the barren ground. Tears streak her face, catching starlight as they fall. She whispers a prayer, broken, hopeless, believing no one can hear. But from the shadows, a human in worn exosuit armor watches, stepping forward, not as a soldier, not as a savior, but as someone who sees her grief and chooses to share its weight. The moment their eyes meet, the wind carries the dying hum of the fallen star, an unspoken promise that hope might rise again. The ash-filled sky glowed crimson as enemy ships descended like a swarm of locusts, blotting out the fading light of a dying day. The human commander stood at the front line, armor cracked, rifle scorched from overuse, staring down the last battle Earth would ever see. Beside him knelt the alien girl, her luminescent blue skin streaked with dirt and blood, yet still glowing faintly under the burning horizon. Her horns, white and smooth, caught the flicker of firelight like shattered moonlight as her long black hair whipped in the acrid wind. She wore a torn combat top and shredded shorts, barely armor, barely clothes, yet her posture carried unshakable resolve. Around them, what was left of humanity's army crouched in ruins of metal and stone, every face drawn tight with the grim knowledge of finality. They had been pushed back to their last bunker line, one thin stretch of crumbling steel and barricades between life and extinction. The girl touched his shoulder, her eyes, large, bright, and trembling, searching his face for something more than courage. "We don't run," she whispered, voice cracking. He nodded, gripping her hand, fingers tightening until her pulse thudded against his palm. Above them, the alien invaders, her own kind, charged their weapons, plasma cannons glowing like miniature suns. The ground rumbled, dust rising like a funeral shroud. Then the first barrage hit. The shockwave ripped through their line, knocking soldiers from cover, splitting steel like paper. The commander shielded the girl with his body, shrapnel biting into his back, heat searing his armor, but he did not move, not until the tremors faded. She pressed closer, her chest heaving against his side, thick thighs braced for the next strike. "They won't stop," she said. "Not until nothing is left." "Then we don't give them nothing," he replied. They surged forward when the second wave began. Plasma bolts streaked through the dusk like jagged comets, detonating sandbags, shattering towers. The commander fired back with mechanical precision, his rifle spitting red-hot fury. The girl fought beside him, her movements sharp, desperate, and raw, wielding a scavenged alien spear charged with static light. Every thrust carved through the armored invaders like a blade through paper, her strikes fueled by guilt and vengeance. One soldier fell at her feet, helmet rolling to reveal a face like hers, blue skin, pale horns, eyes wide in disbelief. She froze. The human grabbed her wrist, yanking her forward, just before another blast cratered the ground where she stood. "Don't stop now," he growled. "Not until it's done." Her eyes burned, not with fear, but with something else. Anger, resolve, and a love so sharp it ached in her bones. Together they pushed, step by brutal step, across the burning battlefield. The last defensive gun turret sputtered its final rounds before melting under enemy fire. Explosions ripped open the night. The bunker line collapsed. Soldiers screamed and died, but still the pair fought on. Plasma fire seared past his cheek, grazing skin. He didn't flinch. She stumbled once, knees buckling as blood soaked her thigh, but he caught her and forced her upright, never letting go. The enemy line surged closer, hundreds against dozens. But something had shifted. A strange, silent fury rose from the surviving human ranks, a wildfire of defiance. Men and women roared, charging forward with bayonets, improvised bombs, scavenged rifles, anything sharp enough to cut. The commander and the alien girl reached the center line where the invaders' war captain stood, clad in silver armor that pulsed with alien energy. It spoke, its voice like jagged glass. "You fight for ash. For a planet long dead." The girl snarled, her voice breaking. "No. We fight for what we love." Then she leapt. Her spear crashed against the captain's blade, sparks igniting the air. The human charged in with a roar, driving his rifle into its core, plasma exploding across the ground. The shockwave hurled all three through the dirt, broken, burned, bleeding. The captain rose first. The human couldn't. But the girl did. She stood between them, chest rising in slow, labored breaths, long hair hanging in a dark curtain across her bruised face. She planted the spear, eyes blazing like a star's core. And then she screamed, not in fear but in defiance, and drove the weapon home. The alien captain collapsed, armor splitting open like a cracked shell. Its troops faltered, eyes flicking to their fallen leader. The wildfire burned brighter. Humanity surged forward, not to survive, but to destroy. Minutes felt like hours, hours like eternity, until at last the battlefield fell still, strewn with bodies, wreckage, and smoke. The girl dropped to her knees beside the human, pulling him into her arms. His armor was shattered, his chest still. She shook him, whispered his name, pressed her forehead to his, and felt the faintest flicker of breath. His eyes opened, weak, but alive. Around them, the survivors stood, bloodied, burned, but unbroken. The girl clung to him, whispering through tears, "We woke the wildfire." And he answered, voice raw, "And it's never going out.